Hey, welcome to Grace Glow Flow. Let's get into a little Bible study. Have you ever felt like you were just doing everything right, but life still played you wrong? Like folks made promises, then turned around and acted like they forgot? Yeah, girl, then you need to hear about Tamar. No, not King David's daughter. I'm talking about the OG Tamar from Genesis 38. This woman was bold, strategic, and refused to be forgotten. This story has betrayal, injustice, and a plot twist that'll have you clutching your pearls. But more than that, it's about a woman who took control of her destiny when nobody else would stand up for her. So grab a snack, sis, because we're about to get into it. All right, let's set the scene. Tamar marries Judah's oldest son, Now, we don't know much about except that he was so wicked that God just took him out. Like, completely wiped him off the earth. Yeah, imagine being so trifling that God himself said, nah, we not doing this. Back then, if a woman's husband died and they didn't have kids, the next brother in line was supposed to step up and marry her to keep the family line going. So Judah tells his next son, Onan, to marry Tamar. Now, Onan, this man was shady. He wanted all the benefits of being with Tamar, but he made sure she didn't get pregnant. He was real intentional about dodging that responsibility. And guess what? God wasn't having it. Just like his brother, Onan was struck down too. Now Tamar is twice widowed, childless, and in a time where women had no real power, this was a serious problem. At this point, Judah, her father-in-law, is looking at Tamar like she's the problem. First, dies, now Onan. Girl, you must be bad luck. Instead of doing right by her, Judah tells her, go back to your dad's house and wait for my youngest son, Shelah, to grow up. Sis, let's be real. Judah had no intention of giving Tamar to his last son. He thought if she married another one of his boys, he'd lose him too. So Tamar just sits there, waiting. Years go by, and she realizes Judah is not keeping his word. Now let me ask you, how many times have you been promised something only to be left waiting? How many times have folks told you they'd come through, but when the time came, they ghosted? That's exactly where Tamar was. But let me tell you, sis wasn't about to go out like that. Now, here's where the story takes a turn. Tamar heard that Judah was traveling to a place called Timnah, and instead of sitting around being ignored, she came up with a plan. She took off her widow's clothes, covered herself with a veil, and sat by the roadside, disguised as a prostitute. Yeah, you heard me right. Sis had strategy. Judah, not knowing who she was, saw her and, well, let's just say he approached her. He promised her a payment, but didn't have his money on him. So Tamar asked for his seal, his cord, and his staff, basically his ID and signature back in the day. Fast forward a few months, and Tamar is pregnant. Judah finds out and is furious. How dare she be out here acting like that? Bring her out. She's got to be punished. But then Tamar hit him with the receipts. She pulled out Judah's own seal, cord, and staff like, the man who got me pregnant, he left these. Baby, when I tell you Judah's whole face cracked because he knew he was the one. And in that moment, he admitted she was more righteous than he was. Tamar gave birth to twin boys, Perez and Zerah. And let me tell you why that matters. Perez became the ancestor of King David and later Jesus Christ himself. Sis, that means this woman who was cast aside, played, ignored, ended up in the direct bloodline of our Savior. Now tell me God don't know how to rewrite a story. Listen, I know Tamar's story is messy, but sometimes life is messy. Sometimes we get overlooked, we get lied to, we get left behind. But what I love about Tamar, she didn't let the injustice define her. She wasn't afraid to be bold, to take action, and to claim what was rightfully hers. Sis, maybe you feel like you've been waiting forever for somebody to do right by you. Maybe you feel forgotten, pushed aside, like you're just sitting in the background of your own life. But let me tell you, God still sees you. Even when folks break their promises, God keeps his. Even when people try to write you off, God writes you in. So hold your head up, sis. Your story is not over yet. If this message blessed you, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and share with another queen